everybody, Laura from Fairy Fox Design here. I am so excited for this chance to talk to you about arm painting. We are reinventing ourselves right and left, and while you need to make the decision of when you are ready to go back to work, I know that we're going to be going back to work in stages, and one of those stages is before we're ready to touch faces, or before people's faces are ready to be touched while we're all still wearing masks. It can be really nice to have some arm designs ready to go. Here are the 5 things we're going to go over today. We're going to take a look at the new posture, the new position that we're painting in. It's going to change. We're going to take a look at the new canvas. Arms are not faces. We want to take a look at some of the new products that we're going to be using. Definitely we want to know about the new designs that we can now do because we're painting on a different canvas. And last but not least, we're going to talk a little bit about the new dance. This is something where, because the kid is in a new environment and we're doing something new, there's going to be a new interaction. And I want to make sure you guys are ready for that. So here we go through these 5 things that I feel like are new to us this summer. The first thing that's new is we have a new posture. We're used to painting on a face like this, but now we're going to be painting on an arm. And all of a sudden, my back's going to come over and I'm going to be focused right here. Another thing that happens with this new posture is we have new careful zones. So as we look at a face, we got to be really careful we don't poke them in the eye or we don't accidentally get paint in the mouth. And that's really important. But now we have a couple new spots that are important. We're working on somebody's lap. And since we're working on an arm, their hand is going to be really close to us. And so there's a lot of awkwardness there. It might be awkward for me, it might be awkward for her. And so there can be some really great ways that we can avoid that. If you have a chair that has an armrest, we can just take the arm up there onto the rest. Now we know exactly where the arm's at. I'm comfortable, she's comfortable, we're avoiding her lap, and because her hand goes down at the edge, it's not quite in my way as much, and I can work right there. Another way we can do it is if we just grab a pillow, put it on the lap's now not an issue, we can bring it back down, we're squared off, so this might feel a little more comfortable. And because it props her arm up, instead of bending quite as low to get that detail work, the arm is a little higher and that can help me. Another way is to just lower my own chair. Whether I'm on a lower chair or we're closer together, that's also going to help. So you want to make sure that in this new posture, you're thinking of yourself, protecting yourself, and also making sure it's comfortable for both of you. The next thing that is new is we have a new canvas. Normally, when we're working on a face paint, we're dealing with a face, but now we are dealing with an arm. And let me show you some of the wonderful and some of the challenging differences in our new canvas. The first one is that we're working with hands. Hands are something that get washed frequently, and in fact, we want them to be washed frequently, right? But if we put some awesome, intricate work right here, it's not going to last very long. The bottom of the hand is also one of the places on the body that sweats quite a bit. So if we paint here, her own body's moisture is going to come out and ruin our work. So it's really better if we can just shift up and do the main body of our design up on the arm. Now this part of the arm is where the hair grows. And for a lot of little kids, that's not a problem. But if you get a kid that is pretty hairy, or if you're working on an adult, it can be really nice to just see if we can roll that arm over and do our design here. You'll have a much easier time getting that done. I would avoid the designs that go all the way around. It's a cool idea, but it's actually really hard to do, and the end result isn't nearly as cool as you think. Anytime somebody shows a design, they present a view that's really awesome. And so to say, oh, look at my design, and they can roll it all around, that can be really complicated. So just keeping it to the top or the bottom of the arm is better. Another thing as we look at this canvas is it's a different shape. On the face, we know what is up and what is down, but here the design can be this way's up, this way's up. We can also do designs that read this way so that this is the top and this is the bottom. And that can be a little confusing at first. If a kid wants something that they can read or looks the right way to them, one of the simple tricks is to just shift where you are sitting. By doing that, now, and I'd probably move her arm up here, I can paint this way, and that way I'm not trying to paint SpongeBob SquarePants upside down for me. That would be really hard. And so if you have something that's intricate that they want, just shift how you're sitting so that you're sitting side by side. If you really need to, you can even lock your arm in to give yourself that pressure and go at it. I wouldn't start in this position because it is a little familiar, but once you've already started painting, that little transition isn't going to feel awkward to either of you. One of my favorite parts about the arm is that we have 2 of them. It's so exciting. When you're painting a face on a kid and they want more, there's often not room for more. But if you paint a really nice arm design and the kid's loving it and the family's loving it, and you're like, woo, so you jump across and you have a whole new canvas on the same person, and it's awesome that way. I am sure there's a scientific reason for this, but this skin right here, it's some of the smoothest on the body, and I love that, but it also stains really easy. Colors that don't stain on the face may stain on the arm. And so you want to be aware of that, maybe avoid some of the darker colors, but it really doesn't matter as much if we're staining on the arm. A kid that has green eyebrows for days, the parent's going to be upset. But a kid that has a little bit of a dolphin 3 days later, really the kid might just be happy about that. So be aware, but don't be too concerned. While we're learning about new things, of course we need to talk about new products. We all love buying new things and it's really exciting. So there are a few things that you might want to think about getting. The first one is something we've already talked about, and that is getting a pillow. It can be a regular square throw pillow. It can be something really fun that's on brand for you or whatever. Not only is this going to help you to put their arm on, but if they get an upper bicep design, you can also do, I call this the chicken position, as I'm trying to describe to people what to do. But so getting a pillow is going to really help you out as you transition into being an arm painter. The next new product I'd love for you to try is a bigger brush. When we're working on all the cute little details on a kid's face, it can be really hard to get in there if we're using a giant brush. But on the arm, if you really want to even load, think of your rainbow cakes, like your really big ones, and you get a brush big enough to that, and boom, down the arm. I mean, stripe some color on there. It can be really fun. This is a new shaped canvas. Find what's gonna work for you. Another thing that I use in face painting, but it's even better in arm painting, and that is a sealant. So this is the Ben Nye Final Seal. It's a great one. I highly recommend it, but you can find some others too. Any makeup sealer will work. I know parents that have used hairspray, but since you're out and it's probably summertime and it's probably a little hot, it can be intense to squirt this right into a little kid's face, but onto their arm, no problem. Your design is gonna stay crisp and fresh for longer, especially if it gets splashed a little while the kid is playing some of the carnival games or in washing their hands. It can be really nice to give it that little bit of extra protection. The best part about the new canvas is new designs. I love the chance to paint new designs. Now, I, like many of you, will tragically miss some of the gorgeous face designs that we love every year. And while we're missing them, this is a really fun chance to develop new designs. Flowers are one of my favorite things to paint on arms because you can just do these great big gorgeous bouquets, and you've got rainbows coming in and you've got water splashes going out of whatever you want. It is so much fun. Letters are amazing in arm paint because you've got this big long space. You can do a kid's name, or you can do something that's on theme for the event. Really take the time to enjoy this canvas, because I almost guarantee, how's that? I almost guarantee there will be times when we look back at, oh, I remember when I was just painting arms, how fun it was too. And like you, I can't wait until that's what we're talking about. But during this time, really take the chance to enjoy these new designs. You can do some animation with fingers that move. You know, the face, we can animate on the face a little when a kid winks or they smile, but we've got hands that can talk. We've got arms that can wave. I mean, I love when you have like a dinosaur and he's got a tail, and that tail can just, or you know, a little puppy wagging the tail. It's so much fun to use this new canvas in new ways. But take the time to find out what are the things that are going to be special, whether it's animating, whether it's having pair designs. I absolutely love doing the Pokeball on the hands, and then woo, it's there. It's so much fun to take that time. Also remember, a face, you know, you've got just so many inches. It's nice and round, but it's smaller than an arm. Arms are much longer, and so you have the chance to kind of stretch out your designs and make them breathe, make them grow, figure out things. Animal totems are one of my favorite things to paint on arms, because instead of just being stuck to, here's your unicorn, it's like, oh, here's your unicorn, here's your monkey, here's your butterfly, you know, whatever. It is so much fun. So the last thing that is going to shift for us as we have this new art form, we're shifting from the face down to the arm, is it's going to create a new dance. We have all of our tricks and tips on how to keep a kid from wiggling. Well, it's now different. We have to learn a new dance. So what are the things that are going to be tricky? And that is keeping the kid's attention. when you're painting a face, you really want the kid to be quiet. We don't really want to encourage a whole bunch of moving around. And while that's still true, that movement has now shifted. So holding a face still will actually keep the entire body still. People have a hard time keeping their face still while still moving their body. Once the face is still, everything's still. But the arm isn't that way. A kid can feel like their arm is staying still, but parents are talking to them, the kid doesn't need to be quiet, and that movement, because everything is connected, the head's connected to the neck, connected to the shoulder, connected to the arm. If the kid suddenly moves their head, their whole arm is going to shift, even if they feel like it's still. And so one of the things that I really like to do as I'm painting on their arm is I like to tell them a story. And that story can be as simple as just teaching whatever it is you're painting. So if I'm painting a cute little elephant, I can be like, oh, I love this little elephant's face. It's so cute. And I'm going to add some little flowers. And I just walk them through the design because they can see it. When I'm painting on their face, they don't know what's going on. They might pay attention to what color I've loaded, but they don't know exactly where I'm at in the design. But as I'm doing it on the arm, they have a front row seat. Like, it's the best seat in the house. And so I can tell them all the choices I'm making as I'm making them. And if you can handle talking and painting at the same time, it's a great way to keep their interest in the project so that they don't move. It's going to be really tricky for all of us as we go out there and we start painting on arms. How do you showcase an arm painting? As you're showcasing a face painting, it's awesome because you're looking at a face, and we all love looking at faces. And so if it's a butterfly or a tiger, that's awesome. But an arm painting is a little bit trickier because an arm, when you zoom in and all you see is that part, is just this long, skinny peach cylinder. There's not really a lot going on. And so you want to find ways to do really fun, interactive photos so people can feel like this is actually a really cool thing. And that is going to come from capturing the person in your photograph. So if we have a really awesome hand painting here, you can pull in this other hand that's not painted, and now we have context. It's not just a random hand, we have both hands. If you've got this awesome, beautiful arm painted, and now it's floating off here in space, one of my favorite things to do is just have them grab their shoulder and smile cute, and now it's right up here. If you've got these cool hands painted, you can do something that is like they're hiding behind it and try and still capture that this is an awesome kid and this awesome kid got an awesome face and this is just great. You want to make sure that you remember this is a human canvas. And when you remember that, see if you can figure out fun new ways to take photographs so that you're sharing that information with the people that you're taking the photographs for. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to go through this with me. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Oh, by the way, absolutely reach out. Do it here on the comments. Do it on wherever you want. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. You can also check out Buy Me a Coffee. I would love to help you guys as you transition into this new world. Bye.